Hi everyone, welcome to this new video. In today's video, we're gonna keep working with custom models, specifically about defining class-based models. So in previous videos, we saw how to define a Python function as a model. But sometimes we need to include like more complex logic or additional, let's say, steps or complexity in our machine learning model. And for those cases, using a Python class would be the right approach. So here, in this case, I am, let's say, showing an example of how we can define a model using a Python class. Here, I'm defining my model class, right? And the requirement is that I have to use the Python model class from MLflow as a base class or parent class, and then to define the predict method. Here, I am logging the model, and for Python model, I am providing the instance of the class that I defined before. I'm loading the model back using the model URI and getting some predictions. So let's talk about some guidelines to define a class as a Python model. First, your class must be a subclass of MLflow.python model, right? Which means that we need to use this object or this class as a parent or base class. Your class must implement the predict method. This is mandatory. The predict method must adhere to the requirements of the inference API. The predict method must have reference to context as the first named argument. So basically this parameter that you can see here, context. If you wish to provide parameters with your model, this must be defined as part of the model signature. And that's something that we are going to explore in a different video. If you intend to have additional functionality execute when loading the model, you may decide to define the load context method in your class. Again, this is topic for a different video. So let's run some examples. Here I am defining a Python class called custom model, right? This is going to be my custom machine learning model. And as you can see here, I am using the Python model coming from MLflow as a base for this particular class. Now I am implementing two methods, predict and preprocess. As you know, predict is the mandatory method and preprocess is the additional logic that I want to include in my model. In this case, it's very simple. I am just printing the length of the model input. And as you can see here, I am using that method within my predict method. So I'm going to run this step before getting the actual predictions. So let me run this. Now I'm going to log the model, and as you can see here, as Python model, I am providing the instance of the class that I defined here. So let me run this. Now here, I'm going to load the model back using the model URI as any other model and getting some predictions. Okay, as you can see here, as part of the predict method, I was able to get these, let's say, strings or print statements. I am basically getting the length of the input and here the output. So here I'm just showcasing that I can include like steps in my predict method. Now, let's say that you have a definition like this, right? I have my custom model and I have the mandatory predict method, right? I have preprocess method, which I need within my predict method, right? But I also have this one, additional method. This is just printing a string, running an additional method, and I'm going to create this model, right? And log the model using MLflow. So here, as a Python model, I provide an instance of the class that I defined before. And now here I'm going to load the model. So far, nothing different, right? I'm getting the predictions. Now, let me show you the type of the loaded model, right? So this is a Python model, right? Which makes sense. But now there is another method that I wanted to show you, and is this one, ungrad Python model. Now, when I do this, I'm going to be able to access all, let's say, additional methods that I defined in my custom class. And for this example, I define this additional method, right? When I get the original Python class, I am getting the that particular additional method, and also pre-process, right? Now let's print the type of this original class, right? As you can see here, it's saying that this class is custom model, right? The object or the class that we define here. So that's all for this video. Thanks for watching it, and see you next time.